It's September 14, 2022. I'm Todd Dunn, and it is currently about 9:40, and we've just driven into Bar Harbor. So we'll just take a look at how crowded Bar Harbor is today. When I went by the Eagle Lake Carriage Road access, there were probably 50 cars alongside the road, and lots of people walking around to go up onto the Carriage Road. So it's fairly busy. I don't know if there's a cruise ship in. We'll find out when we get down to the town dock. And if it's possible, I will park and walk around briefly, just to give you a feel for what Bar Harbor looks like. But even out here, still several blocks from downtown, there are a fair number of people walking. And we'll see what it looks like as we go into downtown Bar Harbor. There is parking out here. You can see 3 parking spots on the left side of the road. Couple spots here, so we'll probably be able to park down by Agamont Park. We'll see. Okay, here we go on to Main Street in Bar Harbor. And again, it's a little after 9:30 in the morning. There are a few parking spots, so it's not super busy. Of course, it is fairly early in the morning, so we're obviously not getting the lunch crowd as we creep through downtown. And a few people walking around, but not huge numbers. But adjusting for time of day, I'd say it's as crowded as it was when I was here 2 weeks ago. And actually, I was wrong. It's Wednesday, the 14th. So here we go, down toward the waterfront. Tide is out right now. Let's see what we can do. Excuse me.
You've been coughing a lot.
Just.
I mean, I heard you at night.
Yeah, I had a handful of nuts this morning, which is. I'm going to park on the way up.
Yes.
It looks like the parking is better going up.
Oh, yeah.
And a bunch of kayakers out there in the harbor.
There's that.
Yeah, well, get it. Okay, here we go. Down to the town dock. I do not see a cruise ship out there. Maybe one coming in today. September is the big month for cruise ships here. But there isn't one there yet. There may be one coming in later in the day. Quite a few boats in the harbor. And one fairly large one tied up at the town dock. And in contrast to 2 weeks ago, there's very little parking down here at the town dock. There would have been no problem 2 weeks ago. So, paradoxically, I think it's a little bit more crowded than it was on August 30th here in Bar Harbor. And still the same pickup truck parking area here where the local lobster boat owners are parked.
Hey, there's a parking spot.
Yeah, but this you have to pay at a kiosk.
Oh, okay.
And it's a pain. And there are a couple more parking spots over here, but I don't like fooling with the kiosk. There's a bunch of people trying to figure out how it works right there. And Agamont Park is nice and green. We've had some rain in the last couple of weeks, which will green things up. We'll just go up here. There were several spots I could park at, just up the hill a little bit. children. And it looks like the spots I wanted have been taken. So I'm going to pass on that. I don't want to have to parallel park unless there's a spot right up here. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Take the last one so I can't get parked in, and I'll just take a quick walk over to Agamont Park and we'll see what it looks like. Now, here we are in Agamont Park. We'll just walk down and take a look out over the harbor from up here. It's pretty windy down on the water, judging from how the flags are flying down there. So, it's a pretty day though. Yesterday, it was totally fogged in all day. So we'll just walk out here and take a look at things. A few people here. So there is Frenchman Bay. There's the schooner Margaret Todd getting ready to load up with passengers for their first cruise of the day. Another schooner on a mooring out there. Big power boat at the town dock. And a bunch of lobster boats on moorings. And over here we have Bar Island. And it looks like the tide is low enough that you can walk over there. So you could head over to Bar Island today. Very pretty down here today. And a little breezy, but I'm just low enough here to be out of the wind. Okay. So there are a number of people sitting in the park here enjoying the view. And there is Main Street. A little windy right here just now. Anyway, I'm going to walk back over and hop in the car and head up Carriage Street to the supermarket. Before we leave Agamont Park, just notice that this tree here is starting to turn. We may have a little bit of an early leaf season this year because the trees were pretty stressed by it being very dry for most of the summer. We've only had rain really for about the last 2 weeks. So fall colors may be starting early this year. Although if we look out at Bar Island, I don't see any sign of any trees turning out there. All right. We're back to Main Street and walking across. See, there's not a huge amount of traffic down here today. We'll see more of that when we go up to Cottage and drive down to the supermarket. Okay, pulled out of the parking spot and we're heading up to Cottage, which is the first street up from the waterfront, and we're gonna hang a right onto Cottage. And once the tourists leave a gap for making our turn. And we will drive down Cottage. We'll see how crowded it is down this way. Well, it looks pretty crowded down here. There are a couple parking spots, but pretty full. So I think Bar Harbor is actually, as I said, more crowded today on September 14th than it was on August 30th. So lots of people here coming to check out Bar Harbor and head into Acadia National Park. As we roll down Cottage Street past the post office there on the right. And we'll be at the supermarket in just a minute, so I'll end this until I leave the supermarket. All right. right, we're out of the supermarket and heading through residential Bar Harbor. So I can make a right turn instead of waiting to make a left turn on onto a busy street, which can take a while. So it's a beautiful day here today. It's a little breezy, but it's bright sunshine, and everything is still leafed out, and except for the one tree that was showing some color, it looks like nothing else is. Maybe a little bit of yellow on some trees, and there's an oak there that's starting to go brown. So I think basically trees that were stressed by the dry weather are changing a little bit early. We just have to wait until we get a gap. Okay.
There's one turning over there.
Yeah, a few others are starting to turn, so we may have early fall colors this year. Usually we don't really get them at peak until mid-October, but it may be a little earlier this year. So that's a look at Bar Harbor here on the 14th of September 2022. It's actually a little more crowded here, just between 9 and 10 a.m. Than it was 2 weeks ago, which is crazy because this is a Wednesday. It's not exactly what I would consider a traditionally busy day. And it's a nice day, so I would have expected people to be headed out into the park already. So, head out of Bar Harbor, and I will very briefly show you the people parked alongside the road to go on the Eagle Lake Carriage Road when we get there. Okay, we're coming up to the Eagle Lake Carriage Road access, and you can see there are people parked alongside the road. All they do is switch which side of the road they're parked on. And there'll probably be a little bit of a gap. No, not really. Lots of cars parked here, and I'm guessing that the parking lot, which is right up here on the right, is completely full. And yeah. So carriage roads are still pretty busy. One thing I want to comment on before I end this video is that in January 2021 there was a court case that the National Park Service lost, which permitted people to shoot YouTube videos in the park without a permit. They appealed it though, and just a couple of weeks ago the Park Service won their appeal. And right now, the official position that I've seen from the Park Service is they're developing new regulations, and they're sticking with the regulations they had, which did allow YouTube filming in the park without a permit until they introduce the new ones. And just to be safe, I am not going to do any more filming in Acadia until I find out what the new regulations are, and if they're going to require a permit to shoot a YouTube video in the park, I will not be making any more videos in Acadia National Park. So that's unfortunate if that happens. But we'll just have to wait and see until the Park Service develops new regulations. But currently, the park website says that it is okay to shoot a YouTube video in the park as long as you're just, one person with a camera or a phone and you're low impact and you don't need a permit. But that could change soon. So I think I'm okay filming as I drive through the park on the state highway, since I'm not, I don't have to pay an entry fee or anything to drive through on the state highway. Anyway, that's what's up here on September 14, 2022 as we head back to Bass Harbor from Bar Harbor. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't, don't you consider subscribing to my channel? Thanks for watching.